Exterior, Tatooine, desert wasteland, daytime. A death-white wasteland stretches from horizon to horizon. The tremendous heat of two huge twin suns settles on a lone figure, Luke Skywalker, a farm boy with heroic aspirations who looks much younger than his 18 years. His shaggy hair and baggy tunic give him the air of a simple but lovable lad with a prize-winning smile. A light wind whips at him as he adjusts several valves on a large battered moisture evaporator, which sticks out of the desert floor much like an oil pipe with valves. He is aided by a beat-up tread robot with 6 claw arms. The little robot appears to be barely functioning and moves with jerky motions. A bright sparkle in the morning sky catches Luke's eye as he instinctively grabs a pair of electrobinoculars from his utility belt. He stands transfixed for a few moments, studying the heavens, then dashes towards his dented, crudely repaired landspeeder, an auto-like transport that travels a few feet above the ground on a magnetic field. He motions for the tiny robot to follow him. Luke: "Hurry up! Come with me! What are you waiting for? Get in gear!" The robot scoots around in a tight circle, stops short, and smoke begins to pour out of every joint. Luke throws his arms up in disgust. Exasperated, the young farm boy jumps into his landspeeder, leaving the smoldering robot to hum madly. Hi guys, Jason here. So what we're going to talk about today is Star Wars, if you haven't already noticed. So I'm a big fan of Star Wars. I've been collecting stuff for a very long time, and some of my youngest memories of actually watching movies are Star Wars. I remember I'd come home from church and Star Wars would be on TV. I mean, other movies that would be on TV would be like the original Alien, which freaked me the hell out. But Star Wars was a good one too. So obviously with the release of Episode 7 last year and upcoming release of Rogue One and then next year's Episode 8, yet untitled, everyone's big into Star Wars. I mean, Star Wars has managed to last like a really, really long time. I was never around to see the original Star Wars in theaters, but I think that I was maybe like 2 or 1 when either Episode 5 or 6 came out. I don't quite remember, but I know that I have watched them on TV a lot and, video and everything like that. And, I saw the re-releases when they came out in the early or late 90s, rather, when they decided that they were going to start updating the movies. And, I bought like the special edition gold or silver box of the VHS because, that was the only way to get it. And then, of course, I had to have the gold or silver box of the DVD because, finally Star Wars is on DVD. But it was definitely a great series of movies to get into. I mean, it's got lots of fantasy, it's got lots of action and adventure, and the story just lends itself to having a really wide and open universe. So what I have here is actually the Star Wars trilogy in its original format. This, I guess, was the last release that they did of the original 3 movies before they started only releasing them with basically the edits. And I know that in some of the newer forms, even when they did it on the DVD release, that they actually had the original movies on there. It's just they were kind of hard to watch as they were either like a really weird screen aspect ratio, which made it really hard to watch on like a smaller TV because it'd be basically like this little thin strip of movie with really huge black bars, and it just makes it really hard to watch it. But these, I don't know if these are necessarily widescreen or full screen. I think that these are, they probably will be full screen movies if I'm correct. But basically they're the last actual physical release of the original movie, which is cool. I'm kind of glad that I got this. It's not really worth that much. These are, I want to say that these range for anywhere from like $5 to 10, maybe $15 online, which is surprising because I know a lot of people, like this sort of stuff. But, with the advent of like Blu-ray, this is definitely old tech. So the excerpt of the movie that I was actually reading was from this guy. It's from a series called Premiere Movie Script Library. And this is the script for Star Wars. And the bit that I was reading actually took place in between some scenes on the actual rebel ship as it's being boarded by Darth Vader from the Imperial Star Destroyer. And so it actually shows that while they're up there taking care of their thing, Luke's actually on Tatooine, and he notices the battle, which, if you read the books, I mean, it's there too. I mean, there's a little bit where he notices the battle and he wants to go check it out, and that's what he's excited to tell his friends about back in Tashi Station. But yeah, it's definitely interesting that stuff like that is actually still in these. These, however, are actually worth a little bit more than these videos, rather. If I say the word "these" too many times, it'll just confuse everybody. But these scripts, they can go anywhere from like $30 to $45 themselves, or I've seen them as a set of $75 to $100, maybe just a little bit more as a group. The VHS cassettes, I got those, I want to say, at a Goodwill, and I think it cost me like $4. These, I got given by somebody, just by chance. They were like, here, I have these, I know you like Star Wars, so why don't you check them out? And they were like, well, you can add them to your collection, and, I thought the same way, because my collection, it ranges anything from, stuff like this to Master Replicas lightsabers, collectible die-cast vehicles, old Lego sets, good extended universe, video content, bad Star Wars movies, and Star Wars books, new and old. Even the oddly well-done kids' helmets that surprisingly fit on me. But I digress. This is really just about these guys. These movie scripts are actually pretty cool. They contain excerpts of what the original story is, and if they had actually filmed using these, I mean, there would be a few more scenes in them. But it's just a neat piece of history, really. I definitely like the way that they're presented. While movie scripts aren't necessarily the greatest thing to ever read, they are definitely like a halfway point in between like an actual written book and the actual filmed movie. So they serve as definitely more descriptive, because they want to get you a good idea of where each of the actors and characters is supposed to be, but it also tells you the story as well. And I guess the bonus to something like this is that you could always go through it with one of your friends or a group of friends, and read off the whole thing. And I mean, using things like this, you could make your own fan film, and I think that's kind of cool. One of the other things that I noticed in here is that they offered up some art from the original movie. So things like this, cool scenes. And they also have a couple black and white images here too. Sorry, that's kind of hard to reach over. Here's a good one of R2 and C-3PO on the Rebel blockade runner. And I like this shot. I actually would really like to see like a big poster of that. But either way, it's definitely a cool collectible. And the nice thing is that I actually have them for Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. It's a cool collection, and I mean, I don't know, actually I'm going to open up these and take a look at the insides of these too. So let's crack this open. It's like, I really don't hold on to stuff like this for any like monetary benefit. I like collecting things, and stuff like this, which is unique. It definitely piques my interest, and see it actually like originally sold, at least in this form, for $20. Which is not too bad. So, I mean, it's basically like went up in value by like 50% or almost double, depending on where you look. But here you go, just another look at Empire Strikes Back. I like the way that they use the one of the original movie posters to actually show off which book it is. Here you go, Yoda training Luke. Here we go. That's a nice print of Yoda. Actually, I was a big fan of Yoda from Empire Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back is my favorite movie from the series by far. I liked the darkness of the story. I like that it doesn't necessarily have a good end. And I like that it, it's just very, there's lots going on with, Luke actually finding out about Vader, and Luke confronting Vader on Bespin. And then there's the romance between Han and Leia, with the the obligatory "I know" at the end. But definitely my favorite movie. But all in all, I mean, Star Wars has been a great series, and it's been a great motivator and tool for a lot of people. It's definitely changed a lot of lives, and it's even like created religions and belief systems that people follow, even today. I mean, you want to be a Jedi, and so you you have your lightsaber, and you live the code of the Jedi, and you try your hardest to help everyone. Oh, wow. I can subscribe to Premiere and save 63%. Stuff like that from older books is actually kind of fun. Let's see what we got here. Here we go. Here's C-3PO and R2-D2 heading towards Jabba's palace. I didn't like Return of the Jedi too much. It was a little bit odd, a little bit strange. Like, it seemed like bits and pieces just didn't seem to fit quite properly. I mean, it told the story well, and it described what the characters were going through. Okay, that was fun. It described what the characters were going through very adequately, and honestly, the way that they did the space battles was actually quite awesome. I loved it. Oh, there we go. Nice shot of the B-Wing exploding Star Destroyer. B-Wing, actually, I like that a lot better than I like the X-Wing fight or anything like that. I think I like the B-Wing the most out of all of the Rebel ships. But anyway, I just wanted to show off a little bit of my collection, talk a little bit about these. I'm wondering if anybody else has, these and sort of what they think of them. Do they ever give them a read? I mean, have you ever thought about like making some sort of like fan film based around this? I mean, how do you feel about reading scripts in general? I mean, would you rather read a script, or would you actually just rather read the actual story if you had the option to? I am super excited for Rogue One. It looks very dark, and I like that theme. I like the theme that they're actually going back before the original Star Wars trilogy and sort of exploring, like, how did the Rebels get the plans to the Death Star? Like, how did they actually find out to destroy it? I mean, I can almost assume that it's going to end somehow with the plans being given to, Princess Leia, on the Rebel blockade runner. So I don't know. I mean, it'd be kind of cool if they tied it in that way, but I don't think that they'd necessarily give it to Leia. They might hint at that's where it's going, but it's definitely cool. And lots of good actors in that movie as well. And I'm very excited for Episode 8. I really like the way they did Episode 7. I like the introduction of, Ren, Kylo Ren, Finn, and also Rey. That's what I meant to say the first time, and I do like how they're actually fitting in. I felt a little bit gypped by the ending. I mean, I kind of wish that Luke had either said something and been around for a little bit longer, rather than just like staring moodily at Rey as she was, desperately holding out the hilt of his lightsaber. But it was either him say something or him not be in the movie at all, and I think I would lean more towards him not being in the movie in general. But that's beside the point. Anyway. Like this video, comment down below, let me know what you think of Star Wars. I mean, has Star Wars affected your life in any way, shape, or form? I mean, do you like this better than Star Trek? That's just asking for a flame war. Like it or not, I actually like both Star Wars and Star Trek for completely different reasons. I'm not trying to start some sort of argument. But anyway, hopefully you're a fan of Star Wars. Hopefully you get some enjoyment out of this, and hopefully you've found some enjoyment from Star Wars in your life, and it's actually, impacted you in a positive way. But anyway, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Thanks, 90s Kevin Costner. You're gonna save me a lot of money. I don't know about you, but when I see an army of quote-unquote dragon-type Pokemon being led by a sharp-dressed business Pikachu, when they suggest that you like this video and subscribe for updates on new content, I would certainly do what they say. Obi-Wan has taught you well. I will not fight you, Father. Vader walks back up the stairs to Luke. You are unwise to lower your defenses.